Crop rotation, in my opinion, was one of the more interesting Atlas Keystones added in 3.22. It causes all your plants to be tier 1, but each time you harvest them, they have a chance to upgrade tiers of plants of different colors. Now, by combining the duplicate compass and some of the Atlas passives, we're able to reliably make sure we have lots of different color seeds to choose from, and we always have a color to feed into the other two. It adds a very interesting dynamic to farming harvest, and it was very, very fun to do. We had some really cool highlights. We ended up getting about 15 bosses in total, some of them obviously appearing at the same time. We got some really good luck, and it's really fun to use because there are other harvest notables like bumper crop, which causes you to have a chance to gain an additional harvest. You also have Heart of the Grove, which means that your harvests have a chance to not wilt the other plots. So you can really chain react all these together in order to try and upgrade something. You can have times where you farm 5 or 6 plots before doing the final one, and you end up with multiple T4 seeds. A lot of fun, and this is day 2 of 7 days, 7 farms. Okay, coming into the skill tree as usual. Today, we're doing a bit of a different tree. Yesterday, we did Wandering Path. Today, we're doing Its Partner in Crime. We're doing Grand Design. Now, Spawn Atlas passive skills grant nothing. That's what happens when you use Grand Design. However, you gain pack size based on the number of notables you have allocated. So the purpose of this tree is 1, get the notables we need for our build. 2, get as many more notables as we possibly can. That's it. Oh, and of course, grab the keystones that we need. So they're the 3 things, and we ended up going with a tree that looks like this, and I'll go over the highlights. We're using growing hordes. We have red altars. Red altars scale really well with pack size. They have much better mob-based loot than the blue altars unless you're fishing for those divine orbs. You can get things like div cards that drop unique jewelry, and it's actually not as uncommon to get the good stuff as you would think. Sir Gog did a video on this, and it's actually reasonably common to get something like a fiend or a doctor or an apothecary. I am not so lucky, but this will happen if you do this a lot. Then we have all the harvest nodes, of course, that we spoke about earlier. We came and grabbed crop rotation, which is on the right. It is difficult to get to this. We actually have to spend what is roughly 10 points to get to this, which is quite a tax on our tree, but it is what it is. You could, if you wanted to, go blue altars. This would make your pathing slightly better. You'd save 3 points if you went blue altars, but you'd lose those red altar modifiers. So that's a trade-off you can make to get more quantity rarity from the blue altars. I'll have to let you decide on that one because I didn't test it today. Next, we grabbed Harbinger. Harbinger I just really like. On City Square, you get 3 bosses, so triple the loot from the compass. Also, Harbies scale pretty well with pack size, and the compass is just pretty cheap right now. Yeah, it's a shame because we're using growing hordes, so we can't get those additional Harbies on our map, but we can get 3 from the map device, meaning we get 4 per map, and we actually did pretty well on Fracturing Shards, Annuls, Ancient Orbs, that kind of thing. And then the rest are just scattered around into notables. Now, you will notice this isn't taken. It is on the tree that I'm going to give you guys. This, I'm just missing 1 point. I need to do one more thing. But this point is actually really, really good. I wish I had it for this farm that I did. And the reason this is good is because if you get a Nico, you'll be able to use Pact with Energy. So you'll gain +1 all rares, 35% damage, 15% move speed. So if you have the points available, if you have 1 more than me, grab all hands and you'll get Nico. One other very important thing to know is when I was doing this, I had a bunch of the purple compasses that cause all plots to have a purple seed, and that is why I'm choosing to have a reduced chance to grow purple seeds. This is essentially so that if I have 4 plots, all of them will have a purple, and then I'm reducing the chance that they're purple. Obviously, you need different colored seeds to use crop rotation, and this actually worked out really well. So I would always have a purple seed if I needed one to feed into the blue or yellow. If you were to get the blue one, then you would swap the points into Primal Drought instead of Wild Drought. And then you would always have a blue seed to feed into the purple and yellow. As for the strategy itself, we'll jump into our trusty max roll planner. And you can see, if you use this, click the button on the left that says Strap, and you'll get a quick little overview. City Square, Polished Scarabs. You could use Gilded, a little bit more expensive. Harder to get a hold of in bulk for a reasonable price. But if you have them, certainly use them. Just going to give you more pack size. Harby on the map device. Charged Compass with Sacred Grove, Duplicated Life Force, and then Mysterious Harbinger and Exarch Influence. So I'm going to briefly try and explain just how I do the crop rotation strategy. You can see from this one behind us, we have a purple, 3 purple blues, and a purple yellow. So immediately, I'm going to go and do the purple, because we're never going to be trying to juice up the purple seeds. We have plenty of those to use as fodder to build up the others. So straight away, we're going to do the purple. Right now, because we have 3 blues, what we're going to do is check them. You can see me running past, just counting them, looking how many seeds there are to see which has the least amount. The one with the least is the one I'm going to do first, which you can see this one has, I believe it was 5. So again, we do the purple, and we got really lucky here. We didn't wilt the blues. So this purple is going to raise this blue and the other blue, and we're going to get tons of stuff. And remember, we've still got that yellow cooking in the top left. So we're going to check that one out. And he has 4 11. So he's got 4 T3s and 11 T2s. So there's a good chance we actually get T4 seeds on this one, since we have at least 2 chances to upgrade those seeds with the plots we have left. You can see even prior to getting to the last plot of seeds, we're getting a ton of life force. This was a good example, to be fair, but you can see what's going on. So do the blue again, and remember, we've now got 2 upgrades on those yellows at the top left. And how much do we end up with? It's a shame we got 9 T3s, no tier 4s. It is what it is. Sometimes you don't get lucky, right? But 9 T3s is still a huge amount of life force. You're going to see the explosion here. We take care of all the mobs, and with the duplicated life force, the pack size causing you... Look how many T3 monsters spawn there. That was much more than 9, I can tell you that. And then we double all that life force. So that's how I choose to do it, and I hope that explanation kind of helps. So that's all good and well, but what was the loot like? Well, here we go. I'll show you the tab. As you can see, we got a lot of maps. We get a lot of Crimson Temples, actually, and these sell pretty well in bulk. Obviously, we've got a lot of MFers going there. City Square is adjacent to Crimson Temple, so you're going to get your maps back. It's pretty difficult to sustain with this strategy, but luckily, as I say, with those being adjacent, it's going to mean that city squares are in absolute spades. You can buy them really cheaply in bulk. So don't worry too much about sustain. On this strategy, you kind of just have to sack it off. Then we get a lot of lesser Eldritch, greater Eldritch, all the Eldritch currencies, a lot of awakened Sextants from the red altar mods, then a ton of Chaos Orbs for the same reason. Obviously with Harbinger as well, you get a lot of Chaos Orbs, and then lots of miscellaneous currency, influence maps, a lot of 3 voices sets that we can hand in. We got 1 Dragon's Heart, which is a global div card, and then for the good stuff, stuff you're here for, excuse me, is 2 Sacred Blossoms, 14 Fracturing Shards, 6 Divine Orbs, 54 Annulments, 58 Ancients, and then 95,000. I'll bring it here so it's a bit 95,500 blue, almost 80,000 yellow, and our little feeder seed, we got 13.6k. So we ended up averaging 1900-ish per map. So we're taking actually a bit of hit on the life force. We don't actually get as much as we would do if we were doing some really juiced force wandering path strap. So you actually do have to take a bit of a hit to your life force for the added fun of this Keystone. And obviously you've got those big high rolls where you can hit multiple bosses, multiple Sacred Blossoms. So maybe the high end is higher, but maybe the average is slightly lower for this Keystone in how it affects the amount of harvest you get. What it does let you do kind of is focus on 2 kinds of life force, which is very useful. Obviously you could spec into another one of these if you really wanted to. You could have blue socketed as well, and then you're going to get yellow much more common if it was considerably more expensive than the others. So very interesting takeaway. You definitely have to sacrifice a bit of life force that you could get investing in harvest in different ways, but the added fun, in my opinion, is definitely worth it. But we'll go to the spreadsheet to see just how well we did. A bit more investment today, as you can imagine. We've gone up to 36.5c per map, but we got a return of 60.08 Divine Orbs on our 18 Divine Orb investment into those 100 maps, meaning that we made 5.23 Divines per hour, and we got about 0.4 Divines per map in profit. Now, just to be clear, as always, this is based on the amount of time it took me to run the maps. Maybe you're faster, maybe you're slower. Come in here, change this number to whatever you want, and it will alter the amount of the estimated profit per hour that you could receive. We invested almost twice as much into Harvest, but didn't quite get twice as much back, so Harbinger definitely pays out. So there's definitely an argument for doing this where you focus a bit more on the Harbingers. I'll definitely be trying that out, where we go more of a conventional tree, less pack size. We're going for more of the Scarab variant. Maybe we throw in some Expedition instead of the Harvest, and we try and focus on those Harbingers a bit more. That'll be something for a future video. I hope you enjoyed this one, and if you try this out, let me know how it goes. I'll see you next time.